schedules. A teacher with a bachelor's degree doesn't get to make $50,000 until their 25th year of teaching or until the 20th year if they have a master's degree. How can you raise teacher salaries early on so that you don't risk seeing teachers move to other states for higher paying jobs?
Chuck, that's exactly what we did. In fact, in my first year and my second year as governor, I put together a group of the best teachers in the United States of America, because under Roy Cooper and Mike Easley and Beverly Perdue's leadership, they had not given beginner teacher pay raises for 5 to 7 years. 5 to 7 years, and they were stuck at $30,000 a year. It is this governor, through recommendations from teachers, Roy, who said, before you give pay raises to anyone else, help those teachers with 1 to 7 years of experience. And we did just that. We've raised their pay to $35,000 a year, which is still not enough, but it's $5,000 more than Beverly Perdue and Mike Easley did, with no objection from you whatsoever during all those years as Attorney General and a candidate for governor. That's progress. I'm the only one here on this stage who has a teaching degree and understands what it's like to stay in front of a class and teach kids. I know how hard it is, and I'm proud of our teachers, and this governor has shown them respect and given them pay raises that they deserve.
60 seconds, Mr. Cooper.
My mom was a public school teacher. I have seen how hard they work, and I understand the challenges that they face. Just like his record, time and time again, the governor is not being honest about these figures. They are contrived, and they do not reflect reality. The fact is, we are 41st in teacher pay and 44th in per student expenditure. And we've got thousands of teachers leaving North Carolina for better pay and more respect. We have teacher assistants being fired. Go listen to teachers and parents and ask if Governor McCrory's changes have made a better difference in the classroom. Just listen to them and see what they say. Try to find a teacher who is making $50,000 a year. Governor, you need to be straight with people about public education. You need to get your facts straight and to represent your record correctly.
You're about as straight as another trial lawyer who became a politician in North Carolina, and that's John Edwards, because you're fooling the jury right now. And the facts, not rhetoric, say that this is the governor that did help the teachers, and there's still a lot more to do. And I'm extremely proud of, not only did we help the teachers with pay, we also have $15,000 to $16,000 a year for benefits for our teachers. And we've tripled the rate of money for every school for supplies and books, something that was clearly missing under the Easley-Perdue administrations that you supported.
30 seconds, Mr. Cooper.
When I was the Senate Democratic Majority Leader, we moved teacher pay from 42nd in the country to 21st in the country in 4 years. Governor McCrory has had 4 years. It is now 41st in teacher pay. That is wrong for our state. What I will do is invest in education. I won't just talk about it and try to distort my record. I will invest in early childhood. I'll make sure that our classrooms have resources. Right. And I'll get our teacher pay to the national average. We've done it before. We can do it again.
I'm going to stick to this topic here. I got 30-second follow-ups. I want each of you to respond in 30 seconds. For you, Mr. McCrory, you said it's still not enough.
No.
Well, where is it? Why not do it now?
First of all, I had to rebuild the economy where we finally have a surplus. By the way, with a surplus and a rainy day fund, something just 3 weeks ago, the Attorney General recommended that our rainy day fund was too high. Our rainy day fund was too high. Ladies and gentlemen, we've had a lot of rain lately. We've had a lot of rain lately, and you were just telling people we should have spent more of that money and not hold it over the side. It's responsible fiscal responsibility. And by the way, another thing that you deceived the people on, when I came into office, teacher pay was 48th. We've reduced it to 41. We reduced it to 41. Okay. And by the way, next year's teacher pay with our pay raises is going to be in the low 30s in North Carolina.
Sort of a twist on it. Where do you get the money? You want to immediately give these raises. Where do you get the money?
Well, I have to respond to
Go ahead and respond
first, because when you're talking about disaster relief, Governor McCrory took $500,000 directly out of the disaster relief fund. And you know what it's for? House Bill 2. This is about, he wanted money for lawyers for House Bill 2 and took $500,000 out of the disaster relief fund. What we do is make education a priority. The governor's priority is continued corporate tax giveaways. What we have to do is put it at the top of the list of what we want to do to make sure we get our teachers to the national average. And I could do that. I've done it before.
All right, I'm going to get you 30 seconds to respond to this specific charge on
He
the
just
on
did not
HB2.
tell the truth. I have not spent any money on HB2 of $500. We haven't spent $1 of the disaster relief money. We were approved to by the legislature, and I made a statement, we will not spend any of that money. He knows that. He's being deceptive to the public of North Carolina. He's being deceptive to the jury. And you should know better. Having a law license to mistruth like that, to not tell the truth. It's exactly what's wrong with politics today.
The governor could have vetoed. The governor could have vetoed this legislation that took the $500,000 after the disaster relief fund.
So you
but he
admit
did not.
It's
He
still
did
in the
not veto.
disaster relief fund, and by the way, it's being used for disasters, which he spoke to a group recently, just 2 weeks ago, and said we have too much money in our reserves. Wonder if I told you as families in North Carolina, don't save so much, go ahead and spend it. Don't worry about a crisis in the future. If he had been governor for the last year, we would not have a reserves to deal with this hurricane.
Thank you, Mr. McCrory. I'll give you 30 seconds on that.
Well, I grew up in eastern North Carolina, and as a state senator, I helped push through the disaster relief funds for Hurricane Floyd. And we had the foresight to make sure the surplus was there. I support a surplus.